Welcome to the Makers and Misfits podcast. I'm your host, Corbin Tyson. I started this podcast because I wanted to talk with people who are makers and people who are misfits. My guest today is Colin Gregory from Sinclair Collective. He's a filmmaker, director of photography, and the kind of guy who can turn any chaotic shoot into something that actually works. If you've seen any of our video work at my company, Frank and Harvey, then most likely you've seen Colin's craft in action. He manages my chaos quite well. We sat down and we talked about what it really takes to build a creative company. Not just the art, but the spreadsheets, the stress, and the business of staying in love with the work. Colin opens up about imposter syndrome and the tension between creativity and commerce. And then we talked about how collaboration only works when you drop your ego and you lead with honesty. It's a conversation about filmmaking, problem solving, and staying authentic in an industry that never stops changing. Let's roll the tape.
How on earth did they make this?
The people who are successful at it, they're willing to just live in that uncertainty for a long, intolerable amount of time. That kind feels like it's destroying your life.
Repeat after me. It is by will alone I set my mind in motion.
The Makers and Misfits podcast.
Should we tweak the lighting since you're a DP?
I think it's good.
Oh, okay, good. So I just wanted to ask you about the rash that you have. Make sure that's doing all right before we get going.
Starting strong.
Yeah. All right, we're rolling here. All right, Colin, thanks for joining me on the Makers and Misfits podcast. My attempt at becoming a social media influencer. Fun fact, these are Shure SM7Bs, but I got them on the TikTok shop, so they may be knockoffs because they were $65. So we're going to see
how well they actually...
For those of you that don't know, these microphones normally are about $300, but I took a risk.
Yeah.
So if they cut out in the middle of the podcast, it's my fault. So, Colin, tell me a little bit about your company, Sinclair Collective, which I might add has a really great logo. But tell me a little bit about your company and what you do for your job.
Okay, so Sinclair Collective at this point is a production company. And so typically what we do is either a client will come direct to us with an idea. Lots of times it's an agency that'll come to us, and then they've already got an idea that they want to have created, and then I assemble, the teams to actually create that content. So the role that I play typically is a director of photography, and then I assemble the teams for that. But that's what, when I started the company, that's what I had the most experience in. And so, but part of the reason why it's called Sinclair Collective is because one of the things that I just love about our industry is that it's tough to be able to pull off something awesome and say I just did it on my own.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So the collective is because that's one of the things that I just really enjoy about our industry is that when you have multiple different people who are great people and are passionate and good at what they do, and then we work together on an idea that we want to create. One, it's a whole lot fun. It's a whole lot of fun when you're working with people that are passionate about what they do, but you also hanging out together,
yeah.
But then at the end, once everything's done, there's just something that I love about we did this, and it's almost like a band of brothers. All of us worked together on creating this thing, and it couldn't have been done if we were missing
Or it's
one
you,
of the...
You get to go to summer camp
Yeah.
You're on a shoot for a few days.
That really, who was I talking with? I was talking with a friend of mine the other day, and that was the thing that we were talking about, because we were talking about the client. And one of the things that I was saying is, like, I think it's super beneficial for the client to be on set. And it was with Victor.
Yeah.
And so Victor was on a project with me where Victor was the talent, and he met the company day of. And so it was a great shoot, but there was a lot, because of the location, there was a lot of things that happened during the shoot in terms of, we were shooting at the backside of this, like, huge production facility. And because of the client's product that we were selling, their product is on the exterior of this building. And so there's a loading dock. And so, but all of our dialogue, everything had to be shot in a day in this back area where there's an active loading dock with semis coming in and, like,
Oh no, what a nightmare.
so logistically it was a little crazy.
Yeah.
But, like, I had a good crew who, like, were great with problem solving. And so when things would happen, it was like nobody was getting thrown off, nobody was frustrated. We were rolling with it, and the client was right there along with us. And so, like, when I was talking to Victor, I was like, that client was a part of that shared experience that we all had. And so there's a relationship now that I have with that client that's, like, way deeper than I had with the client beforehand.
You guys went through some shit.
Exactly. Right?
Yeah.
But that's the type of thing I'm like, that's what happens when you're, like, creating things together. You start from just, like, an idea to, like, we actually made something and went through all the things that were needed to make that. And so I'm saying all that to say that the reason why the collective is a part of the company is because, I mean, that's a huge part of what I think is just so great about what we do, is that it requires so many different people
Yeah,
to
I think
actually pull something off.
collaboration is often, to me, is like when you're working with others, but you're also staying true to yourself. And
Yes.
I would say, you and I have worked together for 20 years?
Yeah.
Maybe more?
Yeah.
When did you move back
2000.
here?
2009.
Oh, okay. So, well, still.
Wait, no.
16 years?
No, it was, I think, 2006.
2006. So, yeah,
Yeah. Almost 20.
a long time.
Yeah.
And you're one of my greatest collaborators. I mean,
Yeah,
pretty
yeah,
much
yeah,
if
yeah.
I have a shoot, you're with me.
Yeah.
And I love that I don't have to think about
Yep.
the gear. I don't have to think about the crew.
Yep.
I'm able to really focus on that client relationship.
Exactly.
And let you guys figure out the technical, because it's not possible to do both. I've tried it.
Yeah.
You can do it, but it's difficult
Yes.
to do both. And you and I, you asked my company, Frank and Harvey, to do a branding and messaging session
Yep.
right here in this room,
Yeah.
actually. And I think that it is genius that your company is called Collective, because you really live that. Like, you always have. Like, you enjoy the community,
Yeah.
that aspect of it. I know for me, that's why I got into it, because I was like, oh, I get to hang out with these guys that, like, we just spent an hour before this
Yeah. Just
Talking
geeking
about-
out over,
codecs and compression
Yes.
and LUTs and,
Yeah.
a lot of nerdy stuff
Yeah.
that most people would be really bored with. And
Yeah.
in fact, I was doing that with my wife the other night, and she was like, I just need you to stop.
Stop. Yeah.
Because it was 11:30 at night. And I was like, I'll just call Colin.
Yeah.
But speaking of collaboration, like, I have this quote that I put down here, because collaboration was like one of these things I wanted to talk about, because you are like the master of collaboration. And Rick Rubin, he says this, he says, true collaboration isn't rooted in verses and settling, Cooperation isn't giving in. It's clearly sharing your feelings to reach a greater good. And so the question I want to throw at you is like, what's your approach to collaboration when creative differences arise? You know, how do you balance staying true to your vision while embracing input from others? You and I have experienced that probably 10,000 times.
Oh yeah.
I have this certain thing in my brain, and you're like, you kind of look at me, you know, over the years now it's just kind of a look, and I go, yeah, okay, I know that's in my brain, but I know that that's not possible because we've got 17 other shots to do in the next half hour. So I guess my question is like, how do you're very creative, you see light in a way that others don't. And often in a creative collaboration, especially when it's paid, you have to kind of put your know-how sometimes and sort of your experience aside because the client wants you to have a Millennium Falcon hanging upside down from the ceiling where the HR director comes out of it and is dressed like Chewbacca.
Yes.
But you know it's not possible.
Yeah.
What does that tension look like while at the same time staying true to your vision while embracing input from others?
Okay, I actually love that question because those are actually like, I think those are the moments like we were talking about earlier, you know, things happen on set. And those are the moments where I think you like build even like stronger bonds or relationship with the people on set. I think it's very good that people are going to like butt heads. Yeah. Right. And so what's super important is not, I'll speak just for me, is not to try and just communicate on what I think or what I feel, you know, especially in those moments on set. But it's really like when you're on set, you want to try and do the best you can to communicate what we're trying to accomplish. Mm-hmm. And so when the client has input about what if we did blank or what if we, so I try, and it's not always easy, but I try to stay out of the opinions. I try and stay out of like the feeling side of things and really try and go, okay, what I'm hearing you say is this is what we are trying to accomplish. So I'm actively trying to go, okay, what are they asking for? What are they trying? What's the problem that they're trying to solve? And so that process of like getting to the thing that they're trying to solve, where a lot of times we communicate in areas that are like up here, right, but we're trying to solve the problem down here. Right. And so I think that's the part that I think is fun, is that like, I don't know, you can call it the dance, but it's that thing where you're trying to get each other. Like this does happen with you and I on set. Yeah. And so, you know, I'm trying to go, what is it that you're trying to accomplish, as the director? And then how do I get you the light that you're looking for? Or, you know, and my response is often, I don't know. Yeah. Well, but there are so many times where like I thought I had it, right? And then I do something and you're like, no, that's not it at all, you know? So over time, I think that's one of the things that I've been trying to work on, is trying to get to like, okay, what is it that this person is really asking for? And then how do I like communicate back to them so that I don't hit, you were a great training ground for me, because, you know, you would say to me, like way back in the beginning when we were filming, I can remember when we were filming out in Florida Keys. Yeah, oh yeah. We were with Eric on the beach, and it was super bright, and Tom Sakura had told us about this technique where you put like a half grid or a quarter grid up in the background and you can't see it. Yeah. And I was like, we can get it up and we can do that, because we wanted to see the water better in the background. And you were going, not worth it, because we need to move on.
Right.
In my head, I'm going, I want to try and give him the most pristine image, right? And so I was solving a different problem than what you were solving. Mm-hmm. You wanted to move on to the next setup that we had.
I just wanted to get home.
Or that.
We were in Key West. I wanted to just get a margarita and go to the beach. Yeah.
But I was trying to solve the wrong problem.
Yeah.
Right? And so I started learning, like, oh my gosh, I need to listen better, figure out what is he actually saying, and then try and solve that thing.
Right.
And so that thing and then that was me as like assistant shooter with you. You know what I mean? I was just learning how to light and learning. Now when I'm like on set running like a crew, those are the things that I'm really paying attention to go, you know, how do I help my team solve the problem we're supposed to solve, and how do I communicate that, and how do I keep us from like butting our heads on set because people are trying to solve different things.
Right.
Does that make sense?
Oh, absolutely. I think there's always this tension between creativity and business and technology. There's always this fight of like, man, I know what this could be, but I also need to be done at 11:30 so we can eat our Jimmy John's. And then also the client doesn't give a shit. Or you know, it's like the joke I was like, this is great, but let's go do our art elsewhere, you know. But I think a good DP, and what I look for in a DP, is somebody who's gonna have that tension and can fight and then leave it on the field, so to speak, and then we're still gonna go in the Keys and have our mojitos and have a great time, because it's not personal. You know, the people that drive me crazy is they take it personal. And it's like, hey, we're not shooting, you know, a David Lynch film here. We're shooting a corporate video, and we just need to move on. You know, there's this tension, which has been difficult for me. I have this creative vision, and then I also know that your capabilities, and there's this tension of like, I know we could do that, but like we have a reservation tonight with the sales team, and we gotta just crank through it. You know? But I think out of that, the more time that has passed, you know, you and I, we don't have that tension nearly as much.
Oh no.
Yeah, because it's just like you kind of just know, and it's why I love that quote. You know, it's not from Rick Rubin, where he says true collaboration isn't rooted in verses and settling. You know, I've hired DPs where there's this butting of heads, and then it carries over into dinner, and it carries over, and it's like, hey man, like we're here to get a job done. We're no different than a plumber or an electrician. We're craftsmen. And we just got to get the job done. You know? And so my next question is like, you know, balancing that creativity and that business. You know, we are very fortunate, you and I, to be able to do something that we love for decades now. And we sometimes get paid for it. Very little, but we get paid for it. And there is this tension of like, man, you know, this stainless steel machine that we're shooting is not my art, but I'm a very creative person and I want this outlet, but yet I still have to run this business. And sometimes business wins, sometimes creativity gets to win, but often business wins. And you wake up some days and you're bitter or angry that you got to do this dumb corporate video. But then you have to remind yourself, like the other day we were going to, where did we go? St. Augustine? No, where was that?
Wait, for which?
On the river there. Where was that?
On the river? What
Down
project
in Georgia?
was it?
Awkward pause.
Wait, what
At that convention.
This is for the sugar, or for the
ice cream
thing. It was.
Where was that?
St. Louis? Wait, Pensacola.
No, it was close.
We've
traveled a lot. What's that town? It was awesome. Anyway, sorry for those of you that live there. Anyway, I was getting on this plane and I was just like kind of like not wanting to travel, and I was feeling really like, I got to go to this convention and everybody's going to have a polo on and a lanyard and I don't love it. We got to shoot a montage. But then I was going down that escalator or the moving walkway in O'Hare.
Yeah.
And it was those neon lights that have been there for 100
Forever.
years. And
Yeah.
I remember the first time I got to travel to go film something.
Yeah.
And I had this like epiphany. I was like, do you remember you used to fucking dream about being paid to travel?
Yeah,
and now you're this bitter old man
Who's like
complaining about not being able to get a business class seat.
Yeah.
And I had this sort of like epiphany of like, oh, quit your bitching. Like, you get to travel and go to a town that you can't even remember the name of it.
Yeah.
And go film something and do your art for a living. So my question is like, how do you deal with that tension between business and creativity? You know, like, because not only now are you a paid professional to do your creative craft for a living, but you're also a business owner, right? You're worried about payroll, you're worried about paying vendors and rent, and how do you navigate the tension between artistic expression and the practicalities of running a business? Because I feel like all the shoots that you and I have been on, there's always that tension of like, this is beneath us, or oh my God, we're way in over our head. It's one or the other, right?
Yeah.
But you, as a business owner, you're like, well, this is better than not getting paid. So let's go do this. And let's have a great time and let's make it really great.
Yeah.
How do you balance that tension?
I wonder some like, I don't have anything like, I do kind of enjoy it. So to me, like the business part is, like I've always been competitive. And so I don't want to be an artist. Like I love the problem solving that happens in the like artist side of things. But I like the competition of like the business side, because it's like, I don't want, like I don't want to lose in that arena. So to me, I'm like, I'm competing so that I can have a successful creative company, but like I have to make sacrifices in the creative world in terms of like I need to deliver a product to a client in a way that like as I've been doing this and gotten older, it's like less about I need to make beautiful images and more about I need to help provide a product or something that actually solves and benefits my client, right? And so over time, it started with like I love to create beautiful images, and then I started really realizing that like, I have to make like, I need to be more intentional about how I do what I do on the business side, and less about, for example, using the best camera, best lenses, most expensive, and because those are all the things that I wanted to do over here.
Yeah.
But then going, well, what's, like you've said this a bunch of times, like what's good enough?
Yeah.
But like, you know, while at the same time, I have I'm in the geek world enough that I love those lenses.
Yeah.
I love those. And so it's like, okay, how do I take, and it goes back to like figuring out what's the problem I'm trying to solve. So what if I want to use a more expensive lens or camera, there's got to be a reason that it actually connects to what they're trying to bring a solution to.
Right.
And so I've got to figure out like what's the right camera package, lensing for their project. And so if I could, I'd use an anamorphic or whatever, all the time. But if I am using it, it's because there is something that's being communicated through that image that's going to fit right for this project.
Yeah.
So then it also goes into like, what gear do I own as opposed to what gear do I rent? And, all of less about having like, particular gear that I really think I want, more about the gear that's going to make me money.
Right.
And so this becomes like a game for me, and where both of these two things like kind of collide.
Yeah.
So I guess if that.
Do you remember when you and I decided to shoot that restaurant documentary on anamorphic lenses?
Yes.
We were like, that was a mistake because it was a giant pain in the ass.
Yeah, and their
you couldn't get
focus,
close
like
up?
I couldn't, like my closest focus was the other side of the table.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was
Yeah.
not good.
Because I'll do that. I'll watch some YouTube video and I'm like, ooh, let's shoot on these anamorphics, and then it's like, oh, that's for movies, not for a restaurant documentary.
Right, but also at the same time,
It looked great.
Yeah, but I also love, like, I think you and I are the type of people that it's like we will dive in.
Oh yeah, I love
And
to
do that.
Experiment with gear with
Oh my gosh, yes,
clients' money.
yes, yeah,
It's like, well, we got this rental budget. Let's rent something cool and try it.
yeah.
We learned on that one. Yeah, probably
This
shouldn't.
wasn't the right. Yeah,
Probably shouldn't use. What were those Atlas?
no, they were
Anamorph-
the Vazen.
Vazen.
Yeah,
Great lenses. But
Yeah.
we were like, the interviews look great, but then the
but they
B-roll.
worked. They worked because we had rented them for a project.
Yeah,
And then tacked on this documentary on the back end of
Right.
the rental.
yeah,
So it worked for what we rented them for.
yeah. That's where I'm
It
always
didn't work for the
savvy.
Yeah.
I'm always like, I got this other shoot.
But I
Yeah.
think that's the
Yeah,
like,
yeah. My
that's-
brother, years ago, my brother is a genius, and my little brother, was like, you gotta quit fighting against business, and you have to
Yeah.
look at it as another form of art.
Yeah, yes, that's it.
And that was like a shift in my brain where it was like, I hate spreadsheets. Like I didn't know how to do anything in Excel,
Yeah,
and
I
it was
still
like,
hate-
oh, I just need to figure this out just like I figured out Photoshop. And then once I figured it out, it was like, oh, this is how I'm going to be able to like make a living doing what I love.
Yeah.
And it not just be this side thing. It was like,
Yeah.
if the math works, and then I sort of fell in love with that. I still don't love it. Like whenever I do spreadsheets, I have this playlist. It's called Toolish. And it's like Tool, Chevelle, and System of a Down, and Rage Against the Machine.
Yeah.
Because I don't like it. So
Yeah.
I just have to, you have to do it.
Yeah.
If you want to make a living making things, you also have to be like a part-time accountant, bookkeeper, business person.
Yep.
And when I had that shift, I think that's where it helped, because then it was like, oh, this is, my brother also recently was like, we were talking about retirement funds, and he's like, you don't love like the establishment, so think of it as a way of like figuring out how to hack the system. And I was like,
interesting.
oh, that's cool. So when I
Yeah.
sit down, I kind of go, and I procrastinated doing my taxes or whatever. It's like, no, this is your way to like damn the man.
Yeah.
Is to figure this out and move this and move that and figure out the matrix
Yep.
of how this is going to afford you to not work in a cubicle. I have
Right.
that sign out in my office here that says like, do everything you possibly can to not work in a cubicle.
Yeah.
And so when I'm in working on spreadsheets, working on all of the back end things of doing art for a living, that's where I see it as like, oh, it's its own art form.
But can I jump in on that?
No,
Like, okay.
just kidding.
The project that we did, the flavor company.
Edaberco.
Edaberco.
Yeah.
Yes. Okay.
Edaberco. Sorry.
Edaberco.
Yeah.
Yes. So something on that project that I thought Edaberco is like their two names together, right?
I believe so.
Senior.
Yep.
What the father.
Mm-hmm.
And so you guys were shooting, I think, with the chef upstairs, and I went with the father back into like lab stuff. And
This is a flavor company.
Yes.
We do a lot of shoots for B2B food manufacturing. So
Yep.
this is like a flavor company that makes ice cream taste delicious.
Oh, amazing.
Which
yeah.
is hilarious that I'm lactose intolerant because I can't try any of the product.
But they make the flavoring.
Yep.
And so they have like the chef. They have like chefs there that are like putting recipes and things like that together.
The artist.
Then, yes. And then in the back is the actual like labs.
Yeah.
And so I was getting B-roll footage of the lab with him. And he walked in. He wanted a specific shot of an area within his lab. And I watched him walk back with all the people who were like, this particular area was like the assembly line of one particular product. But he walked in and he didn't know everything, but he knew way more than what I was expecting. And he was like, okay, can you do this? And can you help with this? And like what clicked for me, because at that time too, he's Italian, so he speaks multiple different languages. And so he walked in and was able to get everyone to do, so everyone in there, everyone was speaking Spanish that at that point in time, but he was speaking Spanish with them. And I was like, dude, he's like, he knows enough to communicate. I don't know. I mean, I couldn't understand what they were saying, so I don't know how much he was actually knowing. But for me, it was that was something for me because it was like, okay, like the spreadsheets thing. I am with you. I absolutely hate the spreadsheets. And when I spend too much time in the spreadsheets, like I can spend a full day tinkering with gear and like figuring out, how I want lens and sensor combination. Like I can do that all day long. If I spend like half a day fully immersed in spreadsheets, like I'm so drained after that. So like there's a limit to what I can do in terms of like the spreadsheet side of things. But after seeing him, I was like, okay, I need to know enough to communicate what we need to do about that particular thing. But then I need to find someone who is really good in that area and like, figure out, to me, it's like the numbers game.
Yeah.
But be able to fit that person in who does really well. But what's important for me is that I have a base knowledge that I can communicate with that person to where it's like, before I would think I just need to get someone in that role so they can do it for me. But now I'm much more like, okay, I need to know enough that I can like communicate and like
or
problem solve together.
Or call their bullshit.
Yes. Yes. Yeah.
Yeah. That's my favorite, working with a web designer and they give me some line of bullshit and I'm like, because I used to do websites and I'm like, yes, it's possible.
Yes.
Or I do a quick Google search.
Yeah. But I think that's the thing is like, I just, when you're able to get, like, I don't have to do everything.
Right.
Do you know what I mean? And so like the business side of things is about, for me right now, it's about figuring out the numbers so I can try and help get people like slotted
Yeah.
into those spaces, and for me to know enough that I can like communicate and help the team to be like moving together.
Yeah.
If that makes sense.
Absolutely. I do specifically remember when you were starting off as a freelancer and you're like, I had built this master spreadsheet to figure out my quoting. And you're like, can I get a copy of that? And I was like, no. And you were like,
Yeah.
you were like mad at me. And I was like, no, you got to go learn it
Figure it out.
yourself.
Yeah,
you know?
yeah.
Because I had spent way too much time figuring it out.
Yeah.
And hopefully that helped.
I do remember that.
Yeah. So when you're running a business, I've been obsessed with this term, which is, so this term I've been obsessed with is the tolerance of uncertainty. So Max is in school right now and he wants to go into the industry as well. And I have said to him many times, like, hey, if you want to do this on your own, you have to have a really high tolerance for uncertainty.
Yeah.
You have to be comfortable with being uncertain. And I think you and I have been doing this long enough to know that we're in uncertain situations constantly. Like every shoot we show up to, we don't know. Mm-hmm. And so our tolerance is pretty high. And in fact, I would think in order to do what we do, you have to actually be able to thrive in that chaos and stay calm and just solve that problem like you were saying. I have a lot of quotes. You know, I love quotes and reading, but David Lynch, who's one of the greatest filmmakers ever, recently died. So I've been taking a deep dive and watching and reading everything from him. And he says, I don't know why people expect art to make sense when they accept the fact that life doesn't make sense. And my question to you with that quote in mind is like, how do you build up your tolerance for uncertainty, or how did you? And I ask that because we have been in so many situations where we know nothing.
Yeah.
And you thrive in that chaos. And you and I both, I think that's why we make a great team, is we're just sort of like, yeah, we'll figure it out.
Yeah.
And then we might like look at each other and be like, I don't know how the fuck we're going to do this. Like, but to the client, we're going to get it done.
Yeah.
And we're going to stay calm when they might be freaking out.
Yeah.
Or they might leave or not even be there. When you're in a creative industry like this, what would you recommend for people that are just getting started to build that tolerance for uncertainty? And also, are there times when you are uncertain when you're doing this?
Okay. So to build, you need to be in situations, you need to just do it, right? So like you need to be in situations where things where you have the definite possibility that you could fail and you figure it out and you don't fail, right? Or so I think I'll say for me, I have this weird like two sides where on one hand I question myself all the time.
100%.
Right? So I often am like, why am I doing this?
Yeah.
Like I'm not as good as, I'm not, you just fill in the blank, I'm not. So there's that voice that's like constant, right? But also at the same time, like I don't know why, but I also believe in myself enough to be like, I'll figure it out, right? So there's this weird, this constant thing where I'm always questioning myself, but also at the same time, I'm like, well, if anyone's going to figure it out, I'm going to figure it out.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? So I
wonder too if it's like necessary. I actually lean on that. Like, yeah, it's never going to be good enough, but let's go ahead and try.
Yeah.
And I sort of feel like if I was giving advice to like a young creative, I'd be like, yeah, nobody, like David Lynch probably felt that way
I think
all of the time.
Yeah. But it's like, if I'm gonna bet, I guess I'm like, because that voice is always, dude. Like, you know, this on a regular basis. I've got 3 kids and college, and like our whole family's like living off of what I do with the company, and so I like dream about and wake up going, why am I doing this? But also at the same time, I'm like, I believe in myself to bet on myself. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So it's just this.
Or you and I have talked, what else are we going to do?
Yeah. That's true. But there is a constant yin and yang where it's like, sometimes not sometimes, often I'm just like, dude, shut up.
Yeah.
You know what you need to do. Like, stop questioning yourself and like work on it and actually like do the practical steps to get where you need to go. But like that, the tolerance is because I'm constantly in it, and then I'm also not shying away from it. You know what I mean? Like, I just had a conversation with my wife the other day where there was this event that I was like teaching at, and I have this stupid. A couple times when I was younger, I just like passed out in like a soccer tournament, like just a couple random things where it was like 1 minute I'm here, the next minute I wake up and like I have people surrounding me, and so like I've had this weird like thing that if I get up in front of a crowd, I'm gonna pass out, and so there's an anxiety.
Were you drinking?
When it happened? No, I don't know what it is, just random.
Yeah.
But if I'm doing something where I am out in front of like a number like of people that's above like 8, my brain starts going, you're going to pass out in front of them. And so there are things where I get like, you know, I love training and teaching. And this was a bigger group. And long story short, Leah asked me afterwards, like, how did it go? Well, everything went great. Everything was great. But I was terrified going up to it. Like, I think through things like, is the ground carpeted? How hard is the floor if I pass out in front of everyone? Am I, like, what part would I hit? You know what I mean? Like,
should I wear a helmet?
Yes, I think about.
Yeah.
But, and so everything inside of me wanted to, because it was a bigger group, I wanted to try and figure out how to stay away and not do it. But I was just telling Leah, I was like, I do this for shoots, for projects that I think I'm in over my head. I have to tell myself, like, shut up in terms of like that voice that doubts you, and go, you're your best bet. And so show up, do what you know you're good at, and trust yourself. And the more I do that, the less I'm like, oh, I did this before. Do you know what I mean? So like you start to build that tolerance over time.
Yeah.
And like, you know, my first big commercial shoot was for national casino company out in New York, and I had I'd never worked with like big crews, and I had a gaffer and his team out of New York, and I was a brand new shooter, did not know what I was doing, and on the set, I think there was like 20 different like talent. There's talent wranglers. Like, I shouldn't have been there, right? But I was like the director of photography, and I brought first AC, and we were all just people who had never done it before.
Yeah.
Like, none of us were like Chicago professionals. We were all self-taught.
Yeah.
Right? And I get there, and this guy just lets me know how much I should not be here, and he lets me know like how much I don't know in comparison to, because his
This is a gaffer?
yeah, his like one of his crew members would have been the DP had I not been there, and so the two of them were just the whole time. And I would call Leah in between shoots because there was
Were you crying in the bathroom?
dude, there was a photographer, and then I was doing the video. I would call her after I was done and the photographer was shooting, and I would be like, I don't know why I'm here. Like, everyone knows it. I don't know why I'm here. And then I would hang up and go, shut the fuck up.
Yeah.
You're not going anywhere. Who cares what they say? You're not running away. Like, show up and create some like damn good images.
Yeah.
So do the things that you know you're good at. And so we walked away, and the client loved what we shot. And
Right,
we were,
because that's what matters.
right.
It's
And we were
client, yeah.
invited back.
Yeah.
And like those were the types of things where it's like,
Did you hire that gaffer again?
but I'm like borderline shaking because I'm like, everyone knows I'm a fraud
Yeah.
right now.
Tom gave me great advice. Tom is another DP friend of ours. And,
Yeah.
And he gave me good advice when I landed a hospital commercial. And we had to film like 100 doctors for this hospital.
Oh,
And
yeah. I
was-
remember that.
Like, the budget was so big, I was like, I don't even know what to do with this
Yeah.
money because I could make this for $5,000.
Yeah.
And it was not $5,000. It was a lot.
Yeah.
And a similar thing, but it was a makeup artist, like, was trying to flex on me. And Tom, he was the DP on that, and he was like, dude, if you want to be a director, you need to be the alpha. And I was like, okay. So I go up to the makeup artist, and she was late. And then she was like, I've never heard of you. Who are you? And because I was like, where were you?
What?
So then I kind of freaked out, and then Tom gave me that advice. He's like, you got to be the alpha. So I went back over to her, and I had like this button-up shirt on, and I was like, here's the deal. I was like, do you have something like that can keep this closed? Like, do you have double-sided tape or something? And she kind of looked at me like, what are you talking about? And she's like, yeah, I got some double-sided tape. And I was like, oh, do you mind just fixing this for me? And then she was like, why are you asking me to do this? And then I was like, well, here's the deal. All day, if this comes undone, I'm going to need you to leave, because that's going to be your job all day, is to pay attention to detail, because I'm in charge today, and I'm going to need you to make sure that this button is always exactly where it is. And she was like, and Tom pulls me aside, he goes, fuck yeah. you alphaed her. But that's how it is on set. Like, the people, like, there is a hierarchy, and everybody's trying to get your job.
Yeah.
And so you have to kind of like, and I was freaking out. Like,
Oh, yeah, dude.
Similar. That was the job where I started doing like playlists. Like, music's huge for me. So
Yeah.
before shoots, still to this day, small, big, I'm always like, they're going to find out I suck.
Oh, yeah.
They're going to find out I'm a fraud.
Yeah.
You know, because sometimes I always feel like I'm scamming people into paying me to do something, and that I'm going to do something wrong, and it's all going to go to shit. And
Right.
so I developed this habit of like, I have a specific playlist before shoots to just like calm me down.
Yeah.
And just be like, you're the man, you're in charge. And it's weird. It's like,
Yeah.
it's why sometimes I'm like, why does anybody do this for a living? Because it is a mind fuck, you know, sometimes. Where do you, like, speaking of big commercials, you know, I always joke that I sometimes wonder if gone are the days of those big hospital commercials or casino commercials.
Yeah.
Where, from your perspective, where do you see the industry evolving? You and I talk about this a lot on the phone. Like, you know, some days it's great, some days it's terrible, some days you're getting a big job, some days you're getting beat out by somebody for $500.
Oh, yeah.
Where do you see the industry evolving, specifically around, you know, content creation?
I mean, I'm seeing it's going to like constant content,
Mhm.
but like intentional content that like the stuff that does really well is the stuff that actually like is crafted to like connect with a particular audience, right? And so, but then that content is repurposed a lot. Let's just take, for example, I had a client, I was on the phone with a client today. They asked me to put together a budget, and they were wanting like larger size production. It's like a 2-day production. So long story short, their deliverable is going to be like a 60-second. And that's like old way.
Yeah.
Right? And so, but to get there with talent and crew and all that stuff, like the budget was going to come in at around like $45,000. And so when I was talking with the client, I was like, I'm just going to be honest with you. Like $40,000, you're not going to get for what you're using this 60-second piece. I don't see the return on that.
Yeah.
And I said, now, if you were taking this piece and breaking it up into a whole bunch of different pieces, but those pieces were all intentionally like, there was a theme throughout all of this content, and this content actually like gave the audience that it would bump up against a place to go back to. And so I was like, in an instance, I just gate, because everyone knows Nike. I was like, if this was a campaign, Nike's going to take this content and it's going to get repurposed all over the place, but the themes are going to be very similar, and it's going to be broken down everything from a still to, you know, the full 60-second and everything in between, and it's going to be pushed out everywhere. Then our budget makes total sense. If not, let's spend more.
Yeah.
You know, but in this instance, 160-second, like, it doesn't make any sense.
Right.
So I was like, I told him, I think we need to like cut production in half. I think we need to. So
that's where I see the biggest shift.
Yeah.
You know, is speaking of that hospital commercial, you know, it was in that $50,000 to $60,000 range, and it was for like 3 30-second TV commercials. Right now, you know, that's the whole year's worth of content.
Yeah.
Is going to be that budget, and so it's sort of why my company has shifted into a strategic, I call it an accidental ad agency, is because we'd be on shoots and I'm like, you're spending all this money and it's going to get 72 views and it's not going to move the needle. And then clients would be like, well, how is it going to move the needle? And I was like, I don't know. So just over time, it's like you almost have to shift into a strategist. Even though you're a camera technician by trade, you have to think through that strategy as well.
Oh, dude, I think that's where everything's at. So, like, agencies, I don't want to say all agencies, but a lot of agencies used to be like ad purchase, ad buy led. So you get the ads, and then you figure out the content that you're going to fill in with those. It's the opposite now. So, like, your strategy, the content should drive, but that content should be taking into consideration. You really should know who the audience is that you're looking to bump up against, and then the content that's created is intended to be multi-purposed, in all kinds of different time frames, all kinds of different like formats, and then that stuff gets pushed out so that the people who hopefully would be interested in that then have a way back to your product that could solve their problems.
Yeah, and I we were having a meeting the other day, and I was like, I think what our job is now is to sort of build a toolbox for a company so that when they have marketing initiatives, they're able to just pull from the toolbox, or build a library of content so that whatever situation they're in, they have this thing that they can pull you know, specifically when there's like an in-house, you know, person, it's like, oh, we're building you a library of content that you can use in any situation that you have. You know?
Yeah.
What about AI? Where are you? Everybody, I mean, it is just a constant conversation. Everybody in our industry is either embracing it or scared of it or thinks it's going to take our jobs.
Yeah.
I'm in the embracing category.
Yeah.
Obviously, we have talked about that.
Yeah.
What are some of the AI tools that you're using right now that help you?
Yeah. So I'm in the curious phase.
Mm-hmm.
I'm really trying to explore, like, what is this thing? I'm not on the side of like I'm scared of it. I'm more on the side that's like how can I want to embrace it?
Yeah.
You know. But like right now I'm on the like learning side of things. Mm-hmm. So obviously like the writing side with ChatGPT and the strategy side of things, that I'm exploring right now, like what the capabilities of using that in, like, for example, I did an interview that was like, I don't know, like a half an hour. No, it wasn't even that long. But I took the interview, transcribed it, threw it into ChatGPT, and gave it the themes of what we wanted to, with a client, wanted to communicate. And ChatGPT took the transcription and broke down, kind of like gave an example of like themes.
Oh, interesting.
And so it gave me a framework, which when I looked at it, I was like, oh, that actually makes a lot of sense. And so I just grabbed the parts out of this interview. I tried to get it to like do specific, I like said, only use the exact phrases, and it couldn't do it.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, it was like paraphrasing things. So I'm probably the one who was like using ChatGPT wrong.
No, I have experimented with that, and I think editing still needs a gut.
Yeah. Well, it gave me a framework.
Yeah, for sure.
And so that cut huge amounts of time because I knew what to look for, and then I could just take the different pieces and then, you know, put it together, and it like cut a huge amount of time out of my post work.
I think AI right now, even very specific to our industry, is like just the stuff that's happening with audio in AI.
Oh yeah, I use that all the time. Yeah,
huge. I mean, it's just another filter.
Yeah,
but it is great. I mean, we're shooting this right now, and the furnace is running.
Right.
And we used to have to be on a shoot and have to unplug all the refrigerators and turn the HVAC off, and now we just go, yeah, it'll be fine.
Yeah, we shot an interview right next to a highway.
Yeah.
Semis driving past, and AI pulled all that right out.
Oh, in Pennsylvania.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I remember you and I were both like, I don't know.
Yeah.
And so I think that night we pulled it in because it was brand new in Premiere. I forget what it's called, but the AI stuff they do for audio. It was still in beta, I remember, and we were like, oh, we should probably check this.
Yep.
And there were semis like using their brakes and and it pulled it right out.
Oh yeah.
And it's a game changer.
Yeah.
I think.
I for sure use the audio.
Yeah.
AI. I use the noise reduction. I use the voice leveling. I use like when I've got long, they call it like the podcast feature. It's like a plugin for Premiere. Oh, but you put it in and it goes and just cuts.
Yeah, autopod.
Yes,
is how I edit this podcast.
Yep.
Because traditionally that would take hours.
Yeah.
And it is worth whatever. I don't even know what I pay for it, but it's worth it. And it's worth it for interviews too. Like when we do 2-3 camera setups. Yes. I just throw it in there and then the text to edit
That I use all the time.
is unbelievable.
Yeah.
In Adobe Premiere.
Yep.
Like, that is awesome.
Yeah.
I can't believe that wasn't a thing, because it makes me like a way faster editor.
Yeah.
And I'm already really fast, and that is an amazing feature. But
Yeah.
the Autopod one is huge, because you can really quickly have a thing like this with 3 cameras and boom, 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 and it's done
Yeah.
in 20 minutes. It's not perfect, but it's there.
Yeah.
And then the transcription, traditionally, like, I remember doing projects, you'd have to send it.
To another company.
I remember sending
or,
DVDs to a company, and they would have to transcribe
and
it.
a person would do it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And there's stuff, 11 Labs is doing stuff right now that is unreal, where it's translating it into, so it could take like this podcast and it could translate it to a different language, but then still use your voice. Like, I've been testing.
Wait, all that I haven't heard of.
Yeah. So 11 Labs, you can train it on your voice. So I tried it the other day. I was like, oh, I'm just interested. So I just recorded into my phone. Like, I wrote a quick script, recorded it, and then I took a different script and had it use my voice, and it saves your voice.
What?
And it was pretty spot on. Or I was having fun. I'm working on a commercial for my company, for Frank and Harvey, and I was like, man, it'd be great if Alec Baldwin could do the voiceover. So I took like a Howard Stern podcast that he was on.
Yeah.
Downloaded the MP3, put it on there to train it, and then I wrote a Royal Tenenbaums. He's the voiceover in that movie, and then I took the script and wrote it with Alec Baldwin's voice, and it's like so spot on that I was like, I don't think I can use this, because I think I would get sued.
Yeah.
It would get like flagged or something.
That's crazy.
Yeah, it's really pretty incredible. And then there's this YouTuber, Sarah Dietschy, or
Wait.
Peach.
I think I know who you're talking about. Yeah.
Peach, I don't remember, but she was showing one that does it with video, where you can train it. You could
Your face.
your face like a talking head.
Yeah.
And her thing was brilliant, because she said, she's does a lot of sponsorships, so she does that read through that you've all heard about Squarespace.
100%.
And she's like, I could just use it for these. And
she just does this. She just inputs the script.
inputs the script. She trained it, and it wasn't perfect, but it's like in 6 months
It's totally going to be there.
it'll be it's probably already there, and I just haven't seen it yet.
Yeah.
So I think earlier you were talking about obstacles, and like at the end of the day, I think our job is solving problems.
100%,
Sarah will
dude.
say to me a lot of times, you're a problem solver.
Yes.
Like, I'll solve any problem.
Yes.
She also says sometimes I make problems to solve when I'm bored.
Yes.
Because I'm a problem solver. But so if our job is like overcoming obstacles, because I think any person that's doing creativity or any sort of actually any job, you're trying to overcome obstacles. What are some of the most challenging obstacles that you have faced, either currently or in the past, and how did you overcome them?
Oof.
I mean, you talked about imposter syndrome. I mean,
Honestly, that's what I was
a
going to
huge
say.
obstacle.
Yes.
How did you overcome that? And then I guess my question then is like, that's an obstacle you overcame. From there,
overcoming?
yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Me too. How did it teach you then to overcome an even bigger obstacle? Because I think when we have obstacles, right, I think God or the universe or whatever is trying to say, hey, I'm getting you ready for the next one.
Yeah.
So we got to overcome this little hurdle.
Yep.
Because next time it's going to be a wall.
Yep.
But you're going to learn some stuff along the way.
Yep.
In order to overcome that obstacle.
Yeah.
Talk to me about how you've overcome those obstacles and what you learned from overcoming them.
So a while ago, you had introduced me to the concept of the hero's journey.
Mm-hmm. Joseph Campbell.
Yep, Joseph Campbell.
Star Wars is based on it.
Yeah, and I can't remember who said it, but there was just a mental image of like you're standing at the edge of the woods and you can't see into the woods.
Right.
And it's like the unknown kind of a thing, and all of the questions of what if, and you know, those are the moments where you're like questioning yourself the most. And so to me, that picture in my head, whenever I hit something, and because sometimes I hit stuff and I don't realize I'm hitting it, like something, you know, there are things where I'm like, I know I need to like grow or transition, you know, the company here. And I talk about it, but it doesn't happen. And sometimes I don't even realize that there's not action that's happening. It's more talk than action.
Yeah.
And then I like realize like, oh, I know that this is where I need to go. I know that this is the next step. It's going to require me to do something different. It's going to require me to like learn some things, be uncomfortable, do things that I don't know if I have. Right now I don't have this strong enough skill set for it, if that makes sense. But I always go back to that mental image of like standing at the edge of the forest and going, I just got to walk in. And every time I do that, I know that when I'm like in the like weeds of it, I'll figure it out. Do you know what I mean? But it's like, it's just jumping in and just doing the thing. For me, at least, I will circle it and try and come up with a system for it and try and figure out like, here's my plan and here's how I'm going to do it. And I will spend way too much time trying to systemize what it is. And really it's me wasting time.
Right.
And so it's more of like, I don't want to step out and do something stupid. Right. But once I start feeling like I'm putting too much time into this, I start going, okay, I'm hesitating is what's actually happening.
Right.
And so then I just need to like jump out and do the thing. And sometimes I even put myself in situations where like I commit to something, if that makes sense. And so now I like give myself a date where I better I better be prepared, right? And so now I just have to do it, kind of a thing. But I think that's my biggest, on a regular basis, my biggest thing is like questioning myself and then just taking that step.
Yeah, and I think to use your analogy and, you know, sort of makes me think about Joseph Campbell's book. It's Hero with 1,000 Faces.
Yeah.
It's about the hero's journey. And it's like you stand at the edge of the woods and you know you got to blaze a new trail. Sometimes I think, though, the longer you do this, you've already blazed a trail and you're kind of tired of chopping. If you've ever made a trail in the woods, it's a lot of work.
Yeah.
And so sometimes when we're talking about the evolving industry, like we always have to be bobbing and weaving, and we always have to be looking at, okay, we got that trail cut. We got to cut a new trail.
Yeah.
And sometimes you're like, I just want to like keep on the trail we already made because it's nice and it's worn and it's familiar, and you sit in front of the trail, and I do this, and then you go, okay, I think if we went north and then we went south, and if we got this right chainsaw and we got this right clippers, and then maybe if I think about this and I draw the map, when in reality you just got to go fucking cut through it.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah.
Blaze a new trail. That's really hard.
Yeah.
It is for me on a very regular basis. And then what I find, though, is when you start cutting that trail, suddenly you're in it, and then you can look up and you can see it.
Yeah.
And you're like, okay.
Yep.
And then you see, oh, I've come this far down that
Farther
trail.
than what I realized.
And
yeah.
I kind of know how to do this.
Yeah.
So let's just keep going.
Yeah.
You know? One of those things, like in that hero's journey that I've learned, is all about authenticity.
Oh my gosh, that's what I was just gonna say.
Yeah, and when you're blazing that trail, you're constantly forced to look in the mirror.
Yep.
And what sucks about the hero's journey is that a lot of times you're on that journey, you're cutting a new trail, and you're blaming everybody else. You're blaming this and that. But at the end of the day, you got to look in the fucking mirror, right?
Yeah.
And it's on you.
Yeah.
And I'm the king of that. I'm the king of over planning the trail making.
Yep.
Rather than just making the trail.
Yeah.
Austin Kleon, he wrote that book, Steal Like an Artist. It's one of my favorite books. He says, you don't need to be genuine, or you don't need to be a genius. You just need to be yourself.
Yes.
And I love that so much. And I will say that, like, you're really great at that. Like, when we're on shoots, you're just yourself. We got this. There's a calm about you. There's a stoicism about you that's like, we're going to get this done. I know we got to be done by 5. I got it.
Yeah.
You know, which I love. Like, as a producer and a director, it's so relaxing when it's like, Colin's got it. I mean, we were just on that shoot the other day, and I had to make a phone call, and it's like, Colin's got it. Because I know it's going to be better than what I could do, you know, and that is always been my thing of when I'm hiring people, is like, I'm going to hire somebody that's better than me. and so that I don't have to do it. You know? And that's, I often say that to you when we start talking about gear. I'm like, I don't care, because you're better at this than I am. So whatever you think is going to be best. That word authenticity, how has that played a role in starting Sinclair and in the business, and how do have you remained true to that authenticity? Because that's something I know you quite well. I know that that's in you, is this need for authenticity. How do you pursue that, and how do you fight that temptation to chase trends or get distracted by all of the noise that's going on?
Oh yeah, dude.
You know?
I think things flow much better, and they tend to flow. I have found they tend to flow. I don't want to say easy, but they tend to flow more naturally when you can be honest, right?
Yeah.
So like, when you're talking about blazing the trail, I don't walk into a scenario and like put up this front like I've got it all together. Like there is a confidence, because I do, if I'm going to bet on anyone, I'm going to bet on myself. And so, you know, I do know that I've had enough time where it's like, I'll figure it out. Whatever I set my mind to, I know I can figure it out. But there is way harder when I tend to like try and put up a front and act like, and not be authentic. And it's much easier when I can go, look, in this particular instance, I don't have an answer for you right now, but I'll get you one.
Yeah.
Like that flows way easier than feeling like I'm not being truthful or feeling like I'm not being authentic.
Yeah.
And that voice, I feel like I'm fighting that voice of like, you're a fraud, way harder when I am being a fraud.
Yeah.
As opposed to going, hey, I'm figuring this out, but like I'll figure it out. And so I don't have to have all the answers right now, but we'll get there. That flows way easier when you're honest about that, when you're blazing that trail, as opposed to if you're not authentic.
Yeah.
So I just feel much more like myself when I can be myself. And
have you ever lost a job because of your authenticity or your truthfulness? Not like a real job, like a project. Like I had a project once that was a company that did injection molding. So they squirt plastic into metal and make like bottle caps.
Yeah.
And they wanted it to look like a Lamborghini commercial. Like literally that was the reference. And so I was like, I took the job, I needed the money. And then we get into the edit and it was like, this doesn't look like a Lamborghini commercial. And I was like, well, because you squirt plastic into metal. Like,
yeah.
Some call it authenticity. Some call it bluntness.
Yeah.
Some medical doctors call it Asperger's.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
does that authenticity ever get in the way of doing jobs? Or the pursuit of authenticity?
I haven't hit that.
Great. Well, in the spirit of authenticity, I'll move on to the next question.
No. But like, I guess it depends on how you define authenticity.
Right.
Like, I don't. So, like we've been saying, I do have the voice in the back of my head that's like, "What are you doing?" on a regular basis. But I also have that's a different side of me that's going, "I'm going to bet on myself."
Yeah.
So when let's say I'm talking to you, I'm going to be honest with you. If I don't have the answer for something, I will tell you at this point in time, I don't have the answer right now.
Right.
But I will get you the answer.
Yeah.
So there is like a confidence that when I'm interacting with someone, I'm not giving them the voice that's like, I don't know why I'm here. I don't know why. You know what I mean? That's not the voice that I'm leading with. I am leading with like, we'll figure it out, but I'm authentic from the standpoint that like I don't have to have all the answers right now for you, and I will be honest with you. Like if I like today with the conversation, I was telling the client I don't think that you should spend this much on this project. I think that the right solution for what you're trying to do is much less. I'm gonna lose out on more profit for myself, but that to me is like that's what I'm trying to lead with is authenticity in terms of like trying to be honest, trying to give them the solution that I'm hearing that they're trying to solve, but also like if I don't have the answer right now, I'll figure it out.
Yeah.
Yeah,
and I think that builds just tons of trust.
Yeah, and I think that's why it's like I haven't lost as many. I'm not leading with the voice that's like I question myself. I'm more like trying to lead with the voice that's like we'll figure it out, but I'm not putting a front up like I know you know what I mean? Yeah. It's like I'm leading with like I'm a problem solver.
Right.
We'll figure it out.
Yeah, we'll do the best that we possibly can.
Mm-hmm.
I will say that one of the things that you're the best in the world at, this is going to be a weird question,
okay,
and you're tremendously better at this than I am, is the way you organize your gear.
Oh, okay.
And you have some...
I was like, this could go in so many... Okay.
You have certain philosophies that no matter how hard I try, I can never do what you do when it comes to gear. Like, when you're done with a shoot, you reset it for the next shoot.
Yeah.
Give me some tips on how I can organize my shit better.
I don't think you're bad.
Well, you should have seen me cleaning before you came here. Yeah.
Geez, man. I think everyone's different.
What's your favorite container right now? I have one that you have that I think is amazing. It's those crates that you have. What are those crates?
The studio.
Is that what it is?
Yeah.
Dude, those are awesome.
Those might be my favorite.
Like I just buy milk crates, but those are like Ferraris of milk crates.
They're amazing.
Yeah. How does that organization make you a more efficient / profitable business?
So that's what I was going to say.
Yeah.
I think that's why I enjoy it, because So I had a business partner at one point who thinks in terms of organization.
Yeah.
And
Can I name him?
Oh, yeah,
Because Jeff is on another
Jeff
level.
Anderson
I mean,
is-
you are very organized, but he's
No,
on
no,
a
no,
level
no.
that
Yeah.
is scary.
Yes.
Yeah. And I respect it.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
But I remember way back when Jeff and I, at the beginning of, like, we did our first project together, but not as a company together. And so I was at Heartland, and they were like, we did a project, and it required myself and 2 other guys from the Heartland team to pull this off. Because I was just organizing with what I had known up until that point.
Yeah.
And then I did a very similar project outside of Heartland, but just me and Jeff. And we pulled off way more than with the 3 people, but it was because Jeff had everything pre-thought out, organized. Like we were doing it out of the back of our vehicle, and so we had cases. He had thought through what cases were going to be pulled out first, and so the packing of everything. So long story short, we pulled some way more off with the 2 of us, and that was the first time that I went, oh, this actually makes me like way more efficient. And so that's when I really started paying attention to how Jeff was doing things. And then for me, it's like the reason why I like the organization, because if you look at my editing bay, I can't keep that thing clean.
Right.
It's that space is like, it's always, so my editing, if you look at my editing bay and my table for like prepping gear,
Yeah.
those 2 spaces always have stuff
Yeah.
on them all the time. That's where at like my real organization, I feel like those 2 spaces represent that. But all of my gear is organized in a way where like I can see everything, I know where everything is, everything's labeled. But the reason why is because it helps me to be like, I get way more done in a shorter amount of time because I'm not looking for things. And then I can also easily train someone else to do that stuff for me. So I started realizing that like, oh, that efficiency and that like system and organization helps me to get way more done with less like brain energy, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
So I think because I saw how much it could benefit me, I really started like valuing it way more. But like I always go, if you look at my editing bay and you look at my desk, those areas always, they've got clutter on them because my organization is more because it benefits me. Yeah. If that makes sense. But I love diving in and figuring out how to create a system out of that.
Oh, it
like
seems
efficient.
glorious. I mean, I'm a shit show. I mean, I kind of try, but you should see when I'm building something like this, it's just a disaster until it's not. And then
But it's your workflow.
And
then once you get it,
I used to beat
sense.
myself up about it, but it's just like, it's all right.
Everyone's got their workflow. I can't be Jeff.
I know where everything is.
Yes, exactly.
But no, I don't know too many.
I'm not wired like Jeff.
That can do that, and it's amazing.
Oh, it's a gift. Yeah.
He actually helped me here. He was like, I think you should organize. I called him when we got this new office, and I was like, hey, could you come over and just tell me what you think? And then I disagreed with him. So but yeah, he's awesome about that.
Yeah.
Where is there any gear that you're excited about? I know you're a big red Komodo guy. You love that camera. Anything that you're looking at that you're like, man, that's interesting from a gear perspective?
Okay, so I am right now obsessed with I don't even know what it's called. It's like we used it on the last project, the basket.
The laundry bin?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that U-line looking thing?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
So that right now is one of my like
see, it's organization.
Yeah.
That thing was sweet. Yeah.
Yeah, but like all of my
So it's like a giant
hamper on
laundry
wheels.
bin. Yeah.
Yeah.
With like super thick vinyl and big casters, and you just throw everything in there.
Yeah, you can. So we
I actually stole one of those from the post office one time.
for real.
The postal worker left it somewhere. I was on a shoot, and I still have it in
Do you have
storage. It's canvas though, like it's
Yes.
old, and I made it into a table, but then I just threw it in storage.
Oh,
But
I think I remember that.
hopefully I won't get arrested because I think that's federal offense. Yeah.
Yeah, but that piece right now is probably like I have a list of things that I want to get.
Yeah.
I do want to like upgrade my camera, but like I want the hamper before I want the camera.
It's probably a little bit cheaper.
Oh yeah, it's a lot
What camera
cheaper.
are you looking at?
I've got Komodos, so I'm looking at the Komodo X.
Oh,
Yeah.
there's an X.
It's just like higher frame rates,
Yeah.
a little bit better dynamic range.
Perfect.
But I like the form factor of that, and
Smaller file sizes, I hope. I'm just kidding.
I mean, it can be with any of those. It can be.
Yeah.
But I just like how, again, the reason why I like the red, personally, I like all the cameras. Nowadays you can get great images out of any camera, but the reason why I like the red,
I'm hating the Sony right now because I should take a shot of the mini fans we have on these.
Oh.
That's ridiculous.
Yeah.
For the amount of money you spend on these, I had to go buy fans at Farm and Fleet to make sure the cameras. I'm gonna just do this for the edit here, because this is why I hate gear, is because of these cameras were overheating. And I had to go buy these little fans. So I'm selling those tomorrow if anybody wants to buy them.
yeah. Yeah, but I like red because in post, I can get to a really good color grade.
Yeah.
Like so quick. Much quicker than any of the other cameras. You can get quick to most cameras.
Yeah.
But there's just something about the saturation of color depth and things like that. That's why I like the red. But again, is because it's saving me time to get to a really good looking image with not a lot of work. But gear wise, the hamper. That's the big thing that I want right
Might
now.
have to look into that.
Yeah.
But
I'm like looking at
I would get one and make it into something that it's not supposed to be. That's always my thing.
but it's like they make all kinds of different dimensions. So right now, because we just moved into a new shop, I'm measuring out like, okay, they have widths and lengths. So I need to make sure that width wise
It's a doorway.
yes,
Yeah.
that I can fit through doorways. Lengthwise, I want to have as much length as I can, but it needs to fit within the dimensions. I need it to reset at the shop
Yeah.
and not be sticking out or in the way. And it also needs to fit into my production van when I have cart, so I'm going through the process of like measuring everything out so I can know like exactly which cart I
Okay,
need to
so
order.
do they have a website?
It's Uline.
Oh, it's a Uline one.
It's Uline.
Okay, so I'm going to give you a little AI tip.
Okay.
You need to just write that all into ChatGPT and let it do the research for you. Tell it what you want it to do. Send it the web page, and it'll tell you which one to get. Because I know you well.
really?
You're going to spend a week on this.
Oh, for
Because
sure.
I would too.
Yeah.
Trust me. Just put it all in there, and then it's going to go, these are the ones that you want to get.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah,
Okay.
I'm telling you. Well, dude, thanks for coming and hanging out.
Oh, dude, thanks for having me.
Yeah, I appreciate you helping me work out all the bugs
Yeah.
on the podcast. Where can people find out about Sinclair and yourself?
You can go
What's
to
your OnlyFans?
Yep, SinclairCollective.com. Right now, and then we've got Instagram.
Nice.
Yeah,
What's the website?
SinclairCollective.com.
Nice. And
All
The logo is amazing.
It is, because you did it. Yeah.
Well, thanks, man. Appreciate
Yeah,
it.
absolutely.
The Makers and Misfits podcast.